What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody, back again with another video, and I hope everyone had an amazing weekend. I did. It was filled with so much chill, positive, meaningful time with friends and family. But of course, it had to end. I'm back doing some work. I got a 5-day work week, or maybe 4, or maybe 3. I'm not sure. It all depends on when DSP actually gets his weight bench. And of course, he's more than likely going to talk about it on the Daily Wrap ad nauseum, because that's all he's been talking about. But I want to highlight something very specific about this story in the weight bench, which I don't think many people are focusing on, but it's actually quite sad. It really is. I mean, I was listening to him the other day, and he was talking about the weight bench and talking about how he has to schedule time, and he has to schedule it between him and his wife. And I really got thinking to myself, like, man, this guy does live a pathetic life. So let's hear him talk about the weight bench. Probably, I'm pretty sure that will be a segment here on this Daily Wrap, and then we'll comment, and I'll give you my take on it. So let's get into it.
And welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Sunday, the 17th of May, 2026, my big return day in a string of fun streaming days this week. How many? That I can't really say. All right. Now, I explained fully on my Level 1 podcast. Let me summarize. This week, I have a big piece of exercise equipment arriving. I have to schedule its arrival because it weighs so much. And when it arrives, I basically need to have that day off so I have time to get it piece by piece into my house, build it, etc. So I'm going to try this week to schedule this for later on in the week, perhaps Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure. I'm waiting for the shipping company to contact me. My goal is to still have a full 6 days of streaming, but it may not happen. Okay. I will let you all know what is going on with that as soon as I know. All right. But we're still going to have a great streaming week this week, at least 5 days of streaming. And today was a great return day. So let's talk all about it.
All right. So I want to focus a little bit on the weight bench. That's right. The weight bench will save DSP's health, I guess. I don't know. Or help Cat lose some weight. I'm not sure, but we all know, give it a couple months and it'll end up turning into a very expensive clothing rack. That's what it'll be. It'll essentially be covered. It'll be used to dry clothing after a wash, and it didn't fully dry right. He'll just, lay clothes on it or whatever. Or it'll be an extra hamper. We all know it is. Anyway, regardless of the point, I think what I want to highlight here is how sad the story is. And some people were like, "Well, what are you talking about? What do you mean it's sad?" It's sad because I want to give you a couple months ago, my treadmill died. I have a treadmill and a bicycle. This that I have at my house. It's something where if I don't want to go to the gym, I could just jump on my treadmill, walk for 20 minutes, and call it a day, right? Easy peasy, no big thing, right? I had to ordered it from Amazon, got it. It was huge. It was a very heavy piece, right? You know what I managed to do? I got on the phone and I spoke with a friend. That's right. I spoke with two buddies of mine. I said, "Hey, what are you guys doing this afternoon?" Both of them said they were free. And you know what they did? They came over. They helped me bring it down to my basement. They helped me put it together, and literally within 20 minutes, we were done. And you know what it cost me? It cost me pizza and some drinks. That's all it cost me. That's right. And me and my boys hung out, chatted for a couple hours. After the treadmill was up, we went outside. We sat in my sunroom and just chilled and relaxed and just talked it up. And you know what I mean? Just a good time. We made it a good time. And I literally spent 20 minutes with the help of two friends knocking it out, and all it cost me was some pizza and some drinks. That's all it cost me, right? And on top of that, I managed to chill with them for several hours and just catch up and shoot the shit. So it turned into a pretty nice afternoon, a pretty nice night, right? It's so pathetic and sad that Phil relies on his huge wife to get that shit upstairs and put together. Because of course those machines, you can put it together by yourself, but it's more safer to put it together with two people, right? And he's so sad and pathetic and literally has no friends, no life, no family, no nothing. I mean, okay, at minimum, you would think, right? He lives in a gated community with a bunch of people. I think his community has about 60 homes. I think it is. That's what I checked one time. It's about 60 homes. You would have thought that one person, at least a neighbor, right? That he would have cultivated some type of relationship with the neighbor, where the neighbor would have said, "Hey, what are you up to?" "Oh, I'm getting a machine coming in. And the neighbor would be like, "Oh yeah, I can help you with that, man. Just let me know." No, this man is such a hermit and literally goes nowhere. He does not invest in any relationships, and he just doesn't give a shit. And again, because of to him, investing in a relationship is wasteful for him. It's stupid, it's dumb, it's pointless. Because of course, you know, that would require him to reciprocate. You know how Phil loves to use the word reciprocate. You need to reciprocate in a friendship, and that's just too much work for Phil. So he just doesn't have any relationships whatsoever. The only relationship he wants to cultivate is with soulmate. That's not good, Phil, man. It's not healthy. One, two, you put the emotional you put the emotional your emotional issues, all your emotional problems, your emotional support, you put that on one person, on your wife. Because of course you can't talk to a friend because you don't have any. You know what happens, Phil, when you run into a problem with soulmate, right? Who are you going to talk to? You can't talk to anybody online because you know your shit gets out there. You don't have any friends. You call your mom once a week, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to tell your mom what's going on unless you do tell your mom what's going on. You know, you're not close with your dad, so it's not like you can have a man-to-man talk with your father and maybe get his input and maybe get some advice because he's been married for whatever 40 years or whatever, right? No, because you, sir, are a lonely hermit and you've cultivated this life and that's all you want to do because you're lazy and you're selfish. And you're sad and pathetic. Phil really is, man. I'm shocked. And he literally is juggling his work schedule over this delivery. Like, really, Phil? Like, really? You know, I mean, I'm not bragging or anything. I have a couple really close friends, and if I needed them to come to my house, I would have given, you know, like if I weren't here, if I had to go do something and I had a delivery, I have two close friends where I could say, here's the key, brother, can you be here and get it for me and take care of it without an issue, without a problem? I would trust them with no issues to be in my house. They do it, you know, and they would do it. But not you, man. Not, and it's sad, man. It really is. It's pretty pathetic that someone lives this type of life. I can't imagine it. I mean, I consider myself, for the most part, a loner. I don't have a lot of friends. I would probably say I have like 4 or 5 good friends. And then the rest are just associates that I know here and there. But I have like 4 or 5 close friends that I consider true friends and buddies that I trust. And I couldn't imagine my life kind of without having that friendship, really. But we got Pig Roach over here who thinks he knows everything. He thinks he's the smartest man in the room. And he thinks that he can proceed with not having any friends and allies or nothing. I mean, that's why he looks like he's so depressed all the time. Good God, can you imagine leaning on your wife for your 100% your emotional support? I mean, look, I'm married. I rely on my wife a lot for emotional support. But I don't put that burden on her. Like, I don't put that burden on her that she's my best friend, that I share. No, she's my wife. She's the mother of my children. We live a life together. We trust each other. We're ride or dies. But I'm not gonna place the emotional burden 100% on her. It's not fair to her. It's not fair to me, and it's just not healthy. But again, I don't know. Again, I think a lot of it just has to do that friendship requires work, and DSP just refuses to do any work. Anyway, any additional work, he refuses to do it. He sees everything as transactional. And when it comes to friendships, man, you can't see friendships as transactional, because what happens there is one person always feels like they're being, one person always feels like they're putting more into the friendship while the other one is taking, and that never works out. People get resentful and they just tell you to piss off, because that's not friendship. And you, sir, you know, just by the DMs that we got between you and PPP, we can clearly see that that's how you treat friendships or any type of relationship. To you, it's transactional, and you're always looking at it from the angle of how can this best serve me, and that's a recipe for disaster, Phil. But again, here we are, DSP thinking about having to take a day off because the only friend he has in life is his wife. Sad, brother.
So on today's Level 1 podcast, we covered a lot of different topics, okay? Just a big variety. There was no one major topic that was like the big thing of discussion, but it was a good chill session and a great way to start the week. We particularly talked about what's going on right now with Forza Horizon 6. For those who don't know, this game, in an attempt to get Xbox Game Studios games back into the forefront because they have not been in a long time, essentially got massively overexposed over the weekend. The game doesn't even come out until Tuesday. The only people who have it early paid extra to play it or were given the game. Influencers were massively gifted this game. Even people who normally would never play an Xbox game, would never play a driving game, were given Forza Horizon 6. So you may have seen insane amounts of coverage of this game over the course of the week, or I should say weekend. That's why Microsoft went on this insane blitz to try to get everyone to know about this game so they'll play it. That being said, it kind of sucks because the game's kind of been spoiled for everyone on the internet. It just doesn't seem that good. So anyway, we talked about this on today's podcast. We talked about how I'm going to cover it. We talked about the week, a lot of stuff. Give the podcast a look. It's a great way to start the week and be informed.
Okay, you don't need to see the podcast. Essentially, the main highlight of that is, one, he's jealous. He's jealous because no one gave him a free copy of it. Two, the Microsoft, again, his generalities are so stupid. If he actually dug into a little bit more, what Xbox is doing, Microsoft, the new CEO of Xbox, what they're trying to do is they're trying to revamp the brand as a gaming console. They're doing away with this nonsense of everything is an Xbox. That ship has sailed. They're not doing that. They're focusing on gaming. They're focusing on Game Pass, right? And they're focusing on brand awareness. That's what they're doing here. That's the reason why. They know they don't make any money on Forza. Forza, if they're lucky, they break even, because Forza's always been a Game Pass exclusive. So they either break even or lose a little bit of money. They're fine with that. They understand that and they know that. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to do a blitzkrieg and trying to say, okay, folks, we're rebranding. Xbox is back, and here's our latest first entry into this new era. It's Forza. That's what they're doing. That's why they're reaching out to all of these influencers, having them to play, getting attention on Xbox, getting attention on Game Pass. That's what they're doing, Phil. It's just marketing. Again, it's marketing. I know that upsets you because you feel like you should be part of that crew, right? That you should be an influencer, that you should get early releases so that you can make the money off of it. But I'm sorry, Pig Roach, no one gives a shit about you. No one cares about your takes. You are toxic. And maybe, just maybe, if 18 years ago you would have been a better person, maybe then, brother, you could have been one of these influencers. I doubt it, because you know your personality is that so gruff and annoying that I doubt it you would have been able to parlay it into a successful career. If you notice, the people that survive in this industry as influencers, they typically have great personalities, right? Seem like genuinely nice guys, right? I mean, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, just wholesome for the most part. Wholesome people. You know what I mean? Not you, brother. You were always known as the e-begging Pig Roach. And I'm sorry, no brand wants to be associated with an e-begging Pig Roach. The other thing here is regarding that is just he's just upset because he's not going to be able to milk Forza. And the other thing too is, again, just a lazy motherfucker. How much money did he spend on this steering wheel? Remember that steering wheel rig? He talked about, oh yeah, this will be great. We'll use it all the time. Anytime there's a racing game, we can bring it out and use it. It'll be amazing. He refused to fucking bring it out for Forza. He said, no, it's in my closet. It'll be too difficult to go get out of your closet, right? You know, I guess because it's buried in fucking trash in that closet. And just too much work to set it up. So I'm just going to use a controller. Why did you waste all that money, Phil, if that's what you're going to do? See, again, you know, he doesn't think anything through. He's just a consumer, just loves wasting money, and never thinks long term. Like, okay, if I buy this rig and spend $400 for it, what am I going to really use it for? Right? What am I going to really use it for? Right, Phil? I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Like, no forethought whatsoever. It's, what do I need today? And that's all I care about. And fuck tomorrow. Who gives a shit about tomorrow? It's all about what I need today and what I can buy today. I can't wait for the End Investments Day stream. That closet is just going to be filled with utter garbage. You know that after he did the cleanup, those bags and boxes that he put together the first time he did it last year, he just shoved them right back in the closet. Just shoved it right back in there. And then, of course, he probably just, the last year or so, how much shit has he bought? How many boxes of shit that he's bought that he shoved into the closet? Like the gaming rig. How many controllers? He's going to bring out like 4 or 5 armrests that he never returned back to Amazon. Like, it's just insane how much this guy wastes. And you would think, again, I say this all the time, you would think this man he would have learned his lesson after getting fisted by the IRS and having to file bankruptcy and almost not getting his bankruptcy and getting hit for wasting $500K. You would have thought that he would have said, you know what, I'm never going to do this again. But nope. Waste just as much money as he used to waste in the past. And at that, he's a little dangerous now because he's actually getting consistent money every day. Now, he's not rich like he claims he is, but he's getting consistent money. Wait until, one, he's either allowed to refinance his home or he actually can get a credit card. Bankruptcy 2.0 is right around the corner, man. Good God. Anyway, that's the video. My main focus again was I wanted to highlight how pathetic this guy is, how he has no life and no friends. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty sad, brother. And it doesn't take a lot to make friends, man, to have one friend. It doesn't take a lot, Phil, but I guess that's too much work for you. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.